Hey everybody, so today I want to talk about an experience I just had. Once a month, I go to a senior center here in Delaware, and I host what I've named the Joyful Living Discussion Group. And I get together with a group of seniors and we talk about how to live joyfully and how to recognize that they're still alive and there's still the option for pursuit of happiness and fulfillment, even though that may change and even though priorities change. And I love hosting that group. Um, but I went today, and what I didn't know, because I didn't get an email, I was busy preparing, so I wasn't checking my email, is that their bus driver broke down. Now, most of these seniors, they don't drive, so they have a bus that comes around and rounds everybody up and takes them on events. But unfortunately, their bus driver wasn't able to make it, and they had a substitute, and they weren't able to make it. So my group wasn't there, and I didn't know until I got there. However, one person from the group was there. They got driven by their wife when they found out the bus wasn't coming because they wanted to show up for the group. And it created this amazing opportunity. I talked to the director and she let me know what's going on, but then I saw this person sitting there, and I was like, I'm gonna go talk to them anyway before I head out, because they showed up, and I didn't know if they were there for me or if they just tend to go every day. But they're normally expecting me, so I went over and sat down, and it's the best decision I could have made all day, and honestly probably made my day as well. The theme of the topic I wanted to discuss was remembering to empower, right? And being able to utilize, like, one of the most beautiful things in the human existence is that we can activate memories. And in those memories, we can relive those experiences. Sometimes, yes, it can be the most horrifying thing, PTSD, trauma. We can be triggered by things that bring up old memories, but conversely, we can also bring up joyful memories, and we have that option. So what I wanted to do today with the group, and I'll be doing it again next month instead, what I wanted to do again is have one of the participants come up and talk and discuss a joyful moment in their lives and bring it to life in the present and bring that emotion forward and experience it. But he was the only one there, so I got a one-on-one. And as I sat there, we started that way. I asked him about a joyful moment. I told him what it was about. But then it evolved. He started talking about his life and his history and things that I didn't know, because in a group, we're somewhat limited, and this is exactly why I wanted to start doing this. We're somewhat limited in how much information we can give out or we feel comfortable giving out. But he really opened up to me today, because it was just us. There's no one interjecting, there were no other conversations happening, there was no one else to give attention to. And I got to hear this man's story. But more importantly, he was able to hear his story. And as I sat back and I listened, I got to watch his face. I got to watch him feel his memories again. I got to watch him smile. I got to watch him hit moments of difficulty, but then smile again as his life progressed and he remembered another happy moment. And to be honest, at the end I was almost tearing up a little, because what he chose to do with his life, even though he has had many struggles and challenges, is he doesn't forget the beautiful moments. And again, that's what we were talking about today, when remembering to empower. What we remember matters, and we have that option, right? We have the ability to choose a memory and choose what to focus on. But even if we have a default setting of choosing one way to, like, of gravitating towards one type of memory, one type of emotion that comes up, we always have the option to intentionally draw on others. And that's what we did today. Right? That's what I experienced today. I watched this man talk about his life, and as he started with one beautiful memory, and as we moved through his timeline, he recalled more beautiful memories and other beautiful memories. And we talked about what made those moments beautiful, and really settling into the experience and the feeling of some of those. At the end, what we end up having is this beautiful life tapestry of, yes, struggles, but so many moments of joy and so many moments of happiness that he was able to recall. Even though, again, I won't give out details, he did not have an easy life. A lot of things changed for him against his will or against his plans, but just by choosing that, he was able to bring happiness, and the smiles just kept coming and coming. And what ended up happening is, when he'd talk about his challenges, he'd talk about them but gloss over them almost, and not to ignore them. He was like, they're hard, but they happen. And then he recalled another beautiful moment, and they kept feeding on these beautiful moments in this man's life. These wonderful moments of joy, of happiness, fulfillment. Or as he described, feeling up to here. He felt he was this tall. Right? And I think because he had so many challenges in his life, it was even more profound. But at the end, what we ended up talking to, and what I challenged him to do, and he did, as we discussed how we can leverage our emotions to empower our present, and not even the future, but just bring joy into our life in the moment. So what we decided we were going to do, or what he's going to do, is they were getting ready to start lunch, and I challenged him to, during lunch, just think about all the positive things that have happened in his life, all the moments that were beautiful and impactful. And even as I said it, I saw him start to smile just a little bit. And yes, we've been talking for a while, and I got to hear this man's amazing story, and more importantly, he got to hear his amazing story as he spoke it to me. And I asked him, I was like, how do you think that's going to affect your day? And he knew right then. I was like, I think it'd give me an up mood. I think I'd feel really happy, and for me, that's the biggest reason I coach, I think, is for moments like that, when I was almost tearing up in front of this gentleman at seeing his joy and feeling it. And I could feel, just as he started to even think about doing it, I could feel him getting happier, feeling the energy move into him, feeling more vital. And I think it's important that we do that for ourselves, so we talk about our stories, and we can be complete in our stories, but what we focus on and bring those memories up. So even if we're struggling, even if you're having a hard time, and I realize sometimes those moments are big, sometimes they're small, sometimes it may take more time to realize the beautiful moments when they showed up, or the impactful moments. But almost all of us, even if it was just very young in our childhood, or maybe whenever that first beautiful moment happened, Um, if we spend time, we can find it. And once we find it, we can anchor it. And as we tell our story and think about it, we can bring out more and more beautiful moments in our lives. And as we do that, we can experience more joy in our present from our memories. And yes, our memories can hold us back, depending on which ones we remember. But that's the beauty of the human mind. We can choose. We can make an active choice and change our emotional state, change the energy within our bodies simply by choosing what to remember. Same way as even if you can't remember anything, thinking about your goals and your dreams and what you want to accomplish and fleshing them out and really feeling them and seeing your happiest, most joyful self and living in those moments that we create in our mind, we can experience joy in this moment, in the present, regardless of where that memory exists, where that thought exists, whether it's the past, the present, the future. We can revel in joy if it's happening in the present. We can revel in joy if it's happening in the past. And we can revel in the joy that we expect in our future, we can see in our future or in our desires. But yeah, I just wanted to share that story with you today as a reminder that wherever you're at in your life, there's the opportunity to see, envision, experience beautiful moments, feelings of happiness and fulfillment in the present simply by finding them throughout our timeline. I hope if you needed this message and you're struggling, that you take some time to do that today. And if you are experiencing a joyful moment, appreciate it, value it, let it solidify in your mind so that it's there when you need it. Thank you.